yet. I love this. You are my sunshine. And this one says have passion. And then whenever I have leftover paint, this is what I do with it. Here's another one I just did recently with fishies. And these are all ones that I'm going to be showing you really cool designs here in the future. So anyways, let's get going. First thing I want to do tonight is just have the entrance page to your art journal. So this is actually the very first page of my journal, so I'm only going to do one page, one single page here. And I did, prior to coming on, I did gesso my whole page for you. So it's all nice and clean and gessoed and ready to for me to play with. Now, I want you guys to experiment with gesso. When you put gesso on your back page, gesso does allow you to use less paint and stuff. So that would be an advantage for you guys to gesso all of your pages in advance. And you don't have to do every one of them. Experiment in the future, maybe in a back page. Do gesso this page and don't gesso this one, and see the difference on how the paint takes. Okay, so use that as an example of how to do something. So tonight we're just going to do something that says my art journal, because this is going to be my very first page to my book. And I wanted to use products that were very, very, very cheap. So I'm going to basically use nothing but acrylic paint, and I buy those 49-cent acrylic paints at Michael's. So don't go out of your way to get really expensive paints. So I'm going to zoom in here a little bit, get in the camera. Okay, so I'm just using really cheap paints. And I want to just put some basic color down in the background. So I'm just going to spread it out. I have a paintbrush here to the side. I do use a lot of, I have to admit, I absolutely love the paintbrushes from US Art Quest. And I know she cries when she sees how horrible my paintbrushes look, but honestly that's because they're well loved. But sorry Susan, my paintbrushes are very well loved. Now I hope you guys have gotten a few things together to start doing some art journaling. And one of the things that I told you guys to do in advance was to get yourself some magazines. And the reason I want you to do some magazines is I want you to figure out some cheap ways to do your art journal. And one of the cheapest ways is to use magazines for lettering and stuff. So say you don't have stamps in your life, or you don't have just different things that you might not have. This is a great way to get some cheap things done. So I've got some great color going on my background there. Now say I got too much color, or I didn't like it, or I think it's too strong or something, and I'm going to do this purposely. I'm going to put a color in there that might be just too strong and I might not like it here in a minute. I'm going to do that purposely because I want to show you how to fix that. All of a sudden I went, ooh, I don't really like that. Well, take a simple tissue and you can wipe off in the texture that you get from that, even if you don't wipe all the paint off. Look how cool that is. And so I'm going to go through and actually blend and just basically wipe some of this paint off, get a little less color on there. Oh, I like that. I actually really do like that. And you can wet your paper, again, with just a spray bottle and get more wet on there if you need to. But I'm actually liking that, so I'm going to dry it up a little bit. And the only reason I'm drying it is because I want to come in now and use my markers. And again, I want you to use cheap, get yourself some cheap markers. I do love the Faber-Castell markers, I have to admit. Really, really, really like them. And the advantage of having the Faber-Castells is they are all Indian ink, so they do not bleed. So I really like that. And I'm not a huge, what I consider a huge artist, so I want to write, and I'm going to turn this to my side just so I can see how I like this. I might actually even start with a pencil. So I'm going to grab my pencil here, and I want to make the word art. So I want to do a big A, and I could do this again in, because remember I told you this is going to be my art journal page. A-R. And, you know, I'm just basically getting a rough design of what I think I want. Actually, no. See, I didn't like that. So how can I fix that since I don't like that? It's no big deal at this point because I got plenty of room. I actually want to put the R going this way. And then I'm going to do a big T right here. Okay, now I kind of like that. So I know you can barely see that. And that's because I did do it really light. I actually did it a little darker than I normally would, just so I can kind of see where my general letters are. Now I'm going to come back in with my paintbrush. And I'm going to get some more color into those areas. So, and I do use a Teflon sheet a lot to put my color onto. So I want to get some more yellow. I want those letters to stand out for me. I know I'm going to use a lot of yellow tonight. So I'm going to come into the basic letter and I'm going to just color that in. And I'm not getting it perfect right now because I'm going to come back in and make it a little better a little later. And then there's my T. So I'm getting the basics of my letters done. There's my A. And I can fix this here, everything I don't like. Remember, that's the advantage of an art journal, is nothing has to be perfect. You can always add more color. So there's my ART, my basics. I want a little more color in there, so I'm going to come in with some blue. And again, tonight I'm using nothing but cheap stuff, so I'm using nothing but acrylic paints to do 90% of my work. And when I clean my brush out, honestly, I don't clean it out completely. I just get like 90% of the paint out of it. And sometimes I don't even use a brush. I use my finger to blend. See how that's looking? By me using my finger and blending that blue into the edges here instead of painting. Oh, went off camera. Sorry about that. Oh, the one disadvantage of this art journal is your fingers are always dirty and you're going to be getting... I'm going to have to put something on my mouse. So my mouse isn't so dirty. It's going to be horrible by the end of this. It's going to be all painted, all different colors. It'll be crafty though, right? So sometimes I use a paintbrush. A lot of times I use my finger to blend it out and get it a little more blended into the page more. Okay, I'm starting to like this. Liking the background. I need a little blue over here. See how nice that looks when I just blended that in right there? So the color's not so intense when you use your fingers and you blend it instead of using a paintbrush. And the other way that you can get a lot of color out if you really don't like what you do is wet your napkin or baby wipes. And baby wipes will give you the ability really well to blend out. Okay, love, love, love. Liking that so far. So far, so good. Now I need my letters to come out a little more, but I need to dry, so let me dry real quick. And here's where I would start coming in and getting some depth in there. So I'm going to use some stamps. I am going to use the ones from Sin City, and these are the journaling ones. And a lot of times I pretty much only use StazOn to do this technique, or some type of permanent ink like Stuart Superior's palette. What's the other one? Mentos is a permanent one. Indian ink would be a permanent one, because if I want to put anything on top of this, it won't smear. So that's the reason I'm going to use StazOn. Now you're all going to notice I did not mount any of these stamps, and the reason is because I want to be able to use them with my hands, and here's why. I don't ever mount my stuff that I use for journaling a lot, because I will take my stamp and I will ink it up like this, see, with my hands, and I only want to press down like sections of it, so I'm not getting a full image. Let me zoom in there for you a little and give you that idea. See how I'm not getting, oh, that's not as clear as the other camera. Oh, you can kind of see it right there. See how I'm not getting a real clear image? And that's okay. I want that. I just want to get sections. So watch what I do. I literally tap, ink, tap, ink. And I don't think when I do this. I just go for it. Let me zoom out for you. All I'm doing is getting some depth in here. So don't stress out when you do this. And again, if you think you got too much going, you can always cover it with paint. Okay, I'm liking that. Where's my little cap for my stays on? There it is. Okay. So now I've gotten some more depth going into my art journal. And my letters are kind of going into the background, but that's okay. That's okay. We will figure that out. Those will all come out in the long run. I got yellow paint on my fingers. So now I'm going to come in with a black marker and come in and do a little bit more on these letters so they stand out a little more. So here's my A. And here's my R. So these are automatically, now that I'm getting the black in there, wow, they're just popping now. Okay, I'm liking that a lot. But I want to get a little more depth in here because I'm not liking where, you know, the plain yellow letters. So I'm going to grab some more acrylic paint, and I'm going to grab some green and put it over here on my palette. And again, I think I'm going to go in with my fingers. Get a little more blending and depth going. Oh, what did I do? I screwed up there because it wasn't dry. I need to make sure that that's dry before I do that in the future. So I could real quickly go in and heat set it. Okay. Okay, like that. See, that made a lot more depth come into those letters already. Big difference, huh? Okay, I want to bring in some blue now, a little more blue. Actually, this is more of a teal blue. I had a lighter blue out there a few minutes ago. I think I'm going to come in with teal. I need new fingers because my fingers are getting all messy. But happy fingers, huh? Love. Look at that depth I'm getting there. Love that. Okay, I like that a lot. And now I also want to start thinking about my light source. And what I mean by that is when you do a page, you want to have a light source coming in from some way. So say my light source is over here, and so everything on this side of my page needs to be a little lighter, or you know, whichever way I go. Now since I kind of started with everything being lighter down here and got a little darker colors up on top, I think I'm going to stay with the darker coming up here, and I think my light source is going to be from the bottom coming up. So I need to work on that. How do I get my depth in so that it's still looking like I have light source down here going up? See what I'm saying? So where's my light? Here's my light. So my shadows are going to be on the sides here. My shadows are going to be here, they're going to be up here, they're going to be up here. So you can use charcoal pencils, or if you don't have charcoal pencils, you can use just a regular pencil. And see how I did that? I'm just simply taking it and rubbing my finger into the charcoal, and see the depth I got already on that A? See how it looks so much darker up in that top corner now? And I will turn this so you guys can see it now, because I can actually work on it upside down more. And I'm going to put the word journal right here when we're all done. So that's where I'm going there. So I'm going to keep putting in my light source coming from this way up. So I want to get some darks in here. Again, using my finger to smear it out. See how that T just automatically, that darkened up that corner over there? Now, it would be really dark in here. Again, smearing that out some. And I am watching the time. It is 20 after, so we're doing good. Now, to bring in the light colors, what I need to do is bring in some white. Now, I have to admit, guys, I had a tough time finding a white pen that I thought worked well, honestly. There is a ton of white pens out there that are available. This one's from Galaxy Marker. Didn't work for me. Didn't work on all these inks. This one is from, this is a gel pen. Again, I had all kinds of problems with it. Couldn't use it worth crap. But this is the ones that I found work the best. These are called paint pens. And this one's from Deco Color, and this one is from Craft Smart. And I found these at Michael's, and they are an actual, you have to shake them, and I have to be careful with the elevation. So you do have to shake them really well, and then you have to go in with the elevation. Oh, I did want to do one thing. This is a really cheap way to get some more texture into your pages. Here is a simple toilet paper roll, and you can go in and grab some color with your, see how I'm just dabbing that right into the paint? And you can come in and make some really cool, and I got 3 colors of paint going there, so that's even more fun. Some really fun, more texture in the background. So you don't have to have fancy objects to do the, an art journal. Look at the depth now I'm getting. I really like that. You guys see that? Isn't that cool? Let me come in. Look at that. Look at the depth I got with that. Just simple toilet paper roll. And I'm just dipping it into 3 colors only because they happen to be close to each other. Okay, I think I like that. Enough with the toilet paper roll. And you can either recycle that or get rid of it when you're done. Okay, back to my paint thingy. Okay, this is I've just started to use this one. This one's called Craft Smart, and it is a white pen. You do have to shake it, and some of them you do have to prime. Looks like I do have to prime this one. And when you prime them, you press in the nipple up and down. So you see, that's the problem I have with being at the elevation. Did everybody see that? See that big blob? That's what the elevation does up here, so I have to be careful with that. But I'm just going to keep using that. Okay, so my light source is coming in from this side. So this side needs to be really light. So I'm going to come in with my pen and do some, this is harder upside down than I thought it would be. Do some line work here and just bring some color into the page on that side, bringing the light in. So again, I'm going to come up here, get some light source going here. See, I'm not wasting any of that. I'm just picking it up with my pen tip. Bring my light source in right here. That's where that little mess up was, and now see how I got that fixed? See how the white just really makes it pop in the black? So this is a really good way of using your white and black. That's why I told you guys to get a white and, oh, I just screwed up there. Put it right into the yellow paint. Oh well. I think I'm going to fill this whole thing in. Some really good white paint going in there. Also in here, I need this to pop out a little more. Okay, that's looking, I'm liking that a lot. Isn't that looking good? And even my little mess up right there. I got a little too much white right there by accident. So I'm going to go in yellow and fix that. Back in with blue. So this is all darker up in this area, remember? So I'm going to come in with more color and get it darker. I really want it to show the depth here. So you can do a lot of fun finger painting here. Oh, likey, likey, likey. I like that. I hope you guys are liking that too. Okay, next thing I want to do is in my set of stamps from Sin City Scraps is, and they're changing their name, is a stamp called Art Journal. And I need to cut that little corner off. And actually the art and the journal are two separate stamps, and I specifically did that because sometimes I want to use just the word art, and sometimes I want to use just the word journal. So if you got the whole plate of stamps from Sin City, you notice that the word art and the word journal are two separate stamps, and I did that purposely. And I think I want to stamp that right there. I think that'll look cool right there. Now, before I go any put that journal, that word in there, I'm going to check it out and see if there's anything else I want to do. Oh, I think I want to bring some more white in right here, so hold on. Let me bring some more white in. Okay, liking that. Keep putting my hand in wet paint. The one bad thing about doing this, and you know, you can do it a little slower at home. Some people do their pages in, you know, 20 minutes. You can slow it down or use your heat gun more often. Yeah, I think I do want to come in with a flower. And I do have this little flower that's also from Sin City, and it's actually on the same plate with the rest of the art journal ones. And I'm going to use the green Stays On. And again, I did not mount this. I don't care that I don't get the whole image. I'm not going to stress out on that. You know, it's all about, and see how I didn't stress. I got all three images that are just fine. And even when it jumps, and I don't always ink up in between. Sometimes I'll stamp once and then I'll stamp 2 more times and not use ink at all. Sometimes I'll just keep going till it runs out of ink. Oh, sorry, didn't manage to get off camera again there for you. Sorry about that. Everything's going to have paint on it by the time I get out of this class. Okay, I'm really, look at the depth I got there just from putting that flowers in there. See that? Really liking that. And again, do you see how I'm not really even thinking about where I'm putting them? I'm just kind of going for it. Just having fun. There's no stress in this. Okay, I am going to put the word journal, like I said, right there, and I am going to use black Stays On for that one. So again, my black Stays On ink pad. Ink it all up. Okay, perfect. Okay, now that didn't get a perfect ink, but that's okay, because I can fix that. That's why they made black markers. So I would go in, because I do want that to be pretty nice. So I would go in and I would fix this with just a plain old black pen and get it all And this is, again, another Faber-Castell pens. And you can get a lot of the Faber-Castell at either Michael's, or you can get it at alteredpages.com. She has it. So now I want that journal to stand out a little more, so I'm going to come in with my white pen again, my favorite white pen, and I'm going to bring that out a little. So how am I going to bring that out? I could outline the whole thing. I could fill in the letters. I do want to, as soon as I'm here done, Joe, I'm going to show you guys this new tool I got from Joe. You guys need to order it. It is the where did I put it? Had it sitting here just a second ago. Has this really cool tool that I got from Joe, and you can get it over his website. Right now you're going to have to pre-order them, but it makes perfect. Look at this tool, it's so cool. I love my toys, as you guys know. This is my new favorite one. This makes the coolest little loops. I'm going to demo that here in a minute. And you guys can pre-order it. And you guys who are local in the United States, you can pre-order it and get free shipping if you use my name. And I'm going to give you the coupon code for that. It's actually Terri Rocks, because we know I rock. Actually, Joe rocks even more than me right now. But, okay, I want to do some more with that. So I would probably come in with a marker and get some more, a little bit of ink on those flowers and bring them out a little more. Let me grab a marker. So I would just really, and again, I don't even worry about coloring in the lines. I just go for it. I really love this little flower. It was perfect what I wanted. See, look at that. Isn't that cute? Love it. And again, I'm not coloring the whole image in. I'm just not stressing about it at all. That's the whole thing with art journals, is there is no stress. You just kind of have fun with it, and you get this amazing, I mean, look how cool that page looks already. I love it. Okay, what else was I wanting to do on this? Oh, I think it needs a little more depth around the edges. So I'm going to come in, because, again, you could come in with an ink pad, but I wanted to show you guys how to do this without having any inks, just literally using paints. So how can I get depth all the way around my page without having to worry about the, you know, just using inks or paints? So I'm going to take my darkest color that I used so far, and that was the teal, and I'm going to really darken my edges. Again, just to get more depth in there. And you can use either your finger, which I've been using most of the night, or you could come in with a paintbrush, whatever makes you the most comfortable. And you know, I'm just trying to get some real, and again, I want this top corner to be really, really dark, because remember, that's where our shadows are. So this whole top I really want to darken in. And I'm going to get lighter as I come down to the bottom here, so that I get that that depth that I wanted. So I'm really going to soften up my color here in a minute and use even less. And you could do that even by watering down the color, by running it a little bit. So here I've got it watered down, so I'm almost using it as a water technique, and look how much lighter it is on the bottom here. So I'm keeping that really softness going. See how that's soft? Oh, no, you can't see that, can you? Sorry about that. See how soft that corner I got? And what I did, again, since you couldn't see that, I'll do the same thing over in this corner, is I took that paint and I watered it down some with this paint, with my, you know, a little bit of water on there. So a little finger, little water. So I'm going to, so I get a lot more softness down here with the color, where it was really strong up here in this top corner. So that's how you get a really soft color. Watering it down and still achieving that same look that I was going after. And now again, as I come up, I'm adding more paint, less water. More paint, less water on my finger as I come up, and really getting that corner, this edge in dark. I want this edge really dark. And yes, you can do a lot of these techniques with an ink pad, and I'm going to teach other techniques in the future with an ink pad. But tonight I just wanted to use acrylic paints. And I love the way it turned out. I hope everybody loved the way that turned out too. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about what I want for next week, what we're going to do next week. And next week I actually want you to prepare a 2-page spread. So we're going to work on 2 pages next week. And so I think I'm pretty much done with this one. I might come in and put a little more highlights in and stuff like that. But pretty much I'm feeling this page. I kind of like it. And I can come in and maybe put the word my right here in the corner, so it'd be my art journal, or, you know, my name, whatever you want to do, whatever floats your boat. As soon as I find out what I did wrong on how to watch the chat better, I will hopefully be better next week with you guys. Let me switch cameras again. I'm happy I learned how to do that well. We had 41 viewers. That's pretty good for changing everything. Oh, not bad. Oh, God, I guess I could probably demo this with this one. If not, we will go to, this is that tool, really cool tool that I just got from Joe. And it's a 2-sided tool. See that? And this thing, look at my fingers. Those are happy fingers. This tool makes, I'm going to go back to the other camera. This tool makes the best loops in the world. I'm excited to see this. I love this tool. So for you jewelers, you're going to just absolutely love this tool. First, I want to show you that it makes perfect loops. Focus there, little camera. It makes these perfect little loops on the end of your, so if you are a beader, it's really hard to see because it's really little, but if you are a beader, you're going to absolutely love this tool. Joe can get it for you. I think he said it's going to be a few weeks before we get it in, and he can tell you for sure, but you can pre-order it. Now I'm just going to use a head pin to do this technique, but you can also do this with pretty much anything you want, including just using wire. So a head pin, if you guys are not jewelers, and I'm not, it has like a little stopper down here, I want to say, and that's kind of cool if you work with beads because it stops the beads from falling off. So you put as many beads as you want onto your head pin. Now this thing will actually even measure for you. So it's really cool. So as you see, I have a lot of pin left here. See that? There's, now this is a little hard to see, but there's a little, I want to say, post right there. You want to put your wire under that post. And then on the side here, again, really hard to see, there is a little circle. Now you don't always have to use that circle, but there it is to help you measure, and I'll explain that a little more. So if I take the wire and I go underneath that peg that's coming out and into the little hole on the side there, oh, always easier said than done. It really is easy to do, but I'm trying to do it off far away from my face, and I can't see because I'm blind. I put my glasses on. It would really help. And you guys can't see me, so I'll put my glasses on. Right into the hole. Okay, so now it's into the hole because I can see it now. And then you would take and decide where you want that little loop to be. See, everybody seeing that? So we're below that peg and we're through the little hole right there. Then you decide where you want that because it's going to actually cut that for you. I want my loop to be right there. And ready for this? You just fold it. Now cut that piece off for me, and it made me a little loop. See that? Does that rock or what? So you can make really quick jewelry or dangles for your altered books or your whatever, because it would be fun to do it to altered book when you're all done. I wouldn't do this till I was done, honestly, guys, but a lot of them have these wire posts. Wouldn't it be fun to like hang beads and stuff from hanging off this all the way down, or you know, do a bunch of weaving and stuff into this binding so it's prettier than that binding. So that was my idea. While I have my camera here real quick, I want to again talk about magazines. Pick up magazines and pick up ones that you know are used or whatever. Because if you don't have stamps, you can see that word spring, you can cut that out and use it. So everything you know, these magazines you can use are really cool. I grabbed this one specifically because it had these beautiful birds in it, and I can use a lot of these birds to do a lot of you know, journaling. So you don't have to use the whole word spring. You could cut out individual SP, you know, you can cut out the words, the letters, and use them if you don't have stamps. So that's why I would say grab some magazines. And I always find the old ones that, you know, people have thrown away, got rid of their stuff. So I don't even pay for magazines. Okay, glasses off, change cameras. So, see, you guys can't see me with my glasses on. Okay, I apologize that I don't know how to use the chat yet. I'm hoping that we had a good turnout, so I'm hoping that means that you guys are liking this, and we can come back and use this service again. The coupon code is, I'm going to have Joe put that into this chat since I don't know how. I promise I will get better at this. And it is Terri Rocks, and that's for Joe's website. If you have any questions, what I would like you to do between now and next week is, and again, you don't have to do this during the week, but I am going to do a contest, and I don't know what the prize is going to be yet, but it's going to be a cool one. I'm working on something. Post your pages on All Things Terri Sproul. So after you have done your pages for the same techniques that I taught you tonight, go back and take a picture of it and put it on All Things Terri Sproul, because I want to see what you guys are doing. And everybody who does that gets entered into the chance to win whatever prize I come up with at the end of this whole thing. And it won't be like I did with the altered book, my art journal, because I keep my art journal. They're very personal. The other homework I would like you to do that we will be doing for next time, and I am going to do a little bit of this on my own because it's a very personal thing. What we're doing on the next 2-page spread is we are going to do, I want you to, on one side of the page, before you gesso it, it's going to be a 2-page spread. See that? On this side, before you gesso it, I want you to go and write on this page, the whole page, and I want you to tell me, I don't want to know any of it. I want you to write all of your negative talk. What do I mean by that? Things that we say to ourselves that are horrible. You know, I'm ugly, I've got a big nose, I don't like my art. You know, the bad talk, the horrible self-talk we do that we shouldn't do. I want you to write all of that horrible self-talk onto your page. When you are done with all of that horrible talk, I want you to take gesso, and I want you to gesso the whole page and cover it completely. And you'll see why next week when I talk to you about why we did that. So it's kind of you showing what your frustrations, and then you're going to cover it up, and we're going to start anew. So thank you guys very much for being patient with me tonight, and hopefully we'll be a lot better next week. This will be automatically posted to my YouTube channel, so thank you very much for joining me tonight. I want to thank Joe for being so patient with me today. Love you, dear. And I hope you guys all come back next week and we get to journal some more. Have a great day. I'm going to end my broadcast. See you next Tuesday.